When I first arrived in Medved Taiga, I thought I was just here to hunt. Turns out, Alina and her team were deep into a climate change research project, and they figured a professional hunter like me could handle a few extra jobs while I was here. It started simple: gather some meat, climb a lookout tower, and claim my first outpost.
You have arrived. Our outposts are no 5-star hotels, but they beat sleeping outside.
All easy work before the real trouble started. One of the team members, Gunther, their photographer, had gone radio silent after a blizzard a week earlier. Last time they spoke, he was low on food. My job? Bring him something to eat. I bagged a reindeer and headed for his camp at Fisherman's Bay.
This is where Gunther was camping.
When I got there, his supplies were gone, probably stolen by a hungry bear. I found Gunther's footprints, but before I could follow them, Alina redirected me to another campsite to the west.
The only other possibility is that he is lost in the taiga.
There I found a note. Gunther was sick, running a fever and living off a frozen musk deer he'd found. With no medication, he was heading for base camp.
That sounds like a reindeer, but it's in pain.
Before I could get back on his trail, Alina heard the sound of a wounded reindeer, a result of Gunther's poor hunting skills. I put the poor thing down and pushed forward.
Bad, very bad. There is no blood, no wounds, which means this musk deer probably died from disease or poison.
More musk deer. This time dead, no wounds. Alina suspected poison or disease. Then we found a reindeer carcass. And Alina's voice went cold. She'd seen this before in another region. Anthrax.
It was anthrax. You should be safe as long as the temperature stays below 0. You don't touch these dead animals, and you don't eat the snow. That Durak Gunther probably made all these mistakes. There are more footprints to follow.
Soon after, I found his collapsed tent and a final note. If he ate contaminated meat, well, it was clear. Gunther didn't make it.
Well, this is a punch in the gut. Gunther ate contaminated musk deer and died with symptoms that are associated with anthrax. Rest in peace, Gunther.
I was then tasked with checking water monitoring sites to make sure the contamination hadn't spread. Thankfully, all came back clean.
Another clean test. No anthrax. These are very good results. Hoorah! All 3 water monitoring stations test clean for anthrax. Thank you for being so professional despite, well, you know, infectious diseases and all that grim stuff. Frankly, I'm surprised you're able to handle such nasty business and stay so calm.
Then we had reports about wild boar overrunning the land, disrupting musk deer and attracting lynx. I had to cull a few to push them back.
Nice shooting, but don't get cocky, did ya? You'll need to harvest another boar before the pack runs off.
Of course, my work also attracted some other unsavory sorts.
If I could understand them, I'm sure the musk deer would thank you for keeping the boar away from their food.
Next, Alina sent me to another outpost, ominously called the Gateway to the Underworld.
You've reached the outpost. Hoorah! Resupply and prepare yourself before venturing back into the wild. You've earned a respite, but don't go turning lazy on me. We still have loads of work to do.
Before I could truly settle in, more trouble. Food theft in the area. I followed tracks and found something strange.
What the f*** are those? Chuchunya? Or as you may call him, Bigfoot?
Did she say Chuchunya footprints? The Siberian Bigfoot? Alina suspected a prank, but soon she pulled me off the trail to check another weather station inside the permafrost crater.
There's the weather station. Can you record the data from it? More data. Wonderful. To be honest, I can't read any of this, but I'll pass it on to our meteorologist, Svetlana Isakova.
With data collected, I was told about another expedition that went missing in the same storm as Gunther.
These tents were left behind by the previous expedition. We lost contact with the group a few weeks ago. We sent search parties after them, but then the storm hit. I can't imagine that helped their chances.
I found their tents torn apart by a bear. Apparently enough evidence for the police to reopen the search.
Серьезно? This was no Chuchunya. It was a bear. Probably a hungry one. The police have resumed searching for our missing party members, thanks to your scouting.
Then I turned my attention to the lynx.
Lynx migrated to this area many years ago, after some overzealous hunters killed off all the wolves.
I photographed one.
Very good. Your camera skills are serviceable. Now, see if you can harvest the lynx. Anatoly requires a specimen for dissection.
And harvested another.
Okay, I am impressed. But don't let that go to your head.
And wouldn't you know it, the boar problem came back too.
Rumor has it that boars are invading this region. Maybe the lynx pushed them here, maybe the storm. Either way, this area can't sustain them. See? Siberian boars have balls. There we are. You've pushed the pack north towards Svirolova Hill, or Trapper's Hill. As it happens, our work is taking you in the same direction.
At the next outpost, I found an ATV moved.
I was the last person to check on this outpost, but somebody moved that ATV.
The ATV was missing gas, and I found more Chuchunya footprints.
Photograph them for me. I'll need that for the police.
Deciding we needed to warn the locals, Alina contacted the Nanettes and told me of a cabin nearby that belonged to Grigory Grankin. Outside, I found a gas can, and inside, I found plaster casts of fake Chuchunya feet. The prankster had been caught. I confiscated his shotgun and handed the evidence over to Alina for the police.
I think it's best that you collect any firearms from the cabin before you leave.
My next target was a blood trail that was reported by the state surveyor's office that would eventually lead me to a wounded brown bear.
That bear sounds weak. You're not far from him.
After putting it down, I packed up some moose meat for the incoming expedition.
Before I send you into Nanet's territory, I need you to pack away some substantial meat for the incoming expedition party.
Repaired in Annette's bridge.
You're a better hunter than a carpenter, I think. Before you leave the Dicky Coast for the lake, Do me a favor and harvest some meat for the Nenets.
And even took down an angry wolf to collect meat for them. It was not my original target, but he found me.
Seriously, take a DNA test. You must have Nenet's blood. How else could you get along so well out here? This will make a fine meal for the gracious reindeer herders. They won't mind you hunting around their herds now. If you were next to me, I would toast to your hunting.
Alina then taught me Nanette reindeer etiquette. Look, but don't hunt their herds.
That is a reindeer from a Nenet's herd. Do not shoot. Unless you're shooting a photo, of course.
I then took a photograph of the Nanette herd.
Thank you. This is going to be my new desktop wallpaper. Perhaps your most important mission yet.
Before being tasked with hunting a lynx that was suspected of eating their reindeer.
Let's talk predators. The lynx is a much bigger threat to the reindeer herds than the bears. That lynx will bolt in a heartbeat. Careful now. And look at that. This lynx still has a belly full of reindeer. The Nenets will be relieved to know that this animal is no longer dining on their herds.
Alina asked me to visit a sacred Nanette site. I prayed as she asked, and barely had a moment's rest before the next crisis.
Sorry, I meant to give you a break, but I've got an urgent job for you.
The Nanettes reported a missing reindeer herd and a radioactive mutant. In reality, it was a bear, injured, dangerous, and one that Alina seemed to know.
Ah, short. I may know this bear. There is something you and I should discuss. Do you hear that? It's a reindeer, wounded. Maybe by this bear. Please, find this reindeer and spare it any pain.
But first, I had to put an injured reindeer out of its misery.
Thank you. I'll let Katerina know we found the missing reindeer. If you're equipped and ready, scout for bear tracks nearby. That wounded reindeer could not have run too far from the spot where it was attacked. There it is. Follow this trail.
As I followed the trail, Alina suspected that it was heading towards the Hallowed Mountains. However, a blizzard forced me to shelter for the night.
That cabin looks like a good place to wait it out. The storm should blow over in about 8 hours. Take that time to rest.
After resting for the evening, I awoke to a report from Grigori about a lynx that was behaving strangely. I photographed it, and then I put it down.
You need to get back on the bear hunt.
Finally, it was time. I tracked the bear to its cave.
You've reached Pustaya Mountain. Bears only make that sound when they're in pain. Like the pain you might be in if you had 2 rounds of buckshot in your chest.
As I made my way into the cave, I was face to face with an enormous albino brown bear. It charged. I stood my ground, took a hit, and landed a perfect shot.
That's him. The Albino. But this is no way to survive. I can only imagine the pain he must be in. Please, end his suffering.
The hunt was over.
I knew that the albino was still out there. Ever since that day, I felt this chain, linking my pain to the albino's pain. Every night, dreaming of my albino counterpart, roaming the wilderness, starving and driven mad by a chest full of steel. Such pain. No wonder he attacked those animals without eating them. This may sound disingenuous, but I actually felt more pity for the albino than for myself. Now the bear has peace. Maybe I can find peace too. All because of you. One more thing, while you're up there. There is a peak nearby at Pustatele Gara. A picture-perfect place to gaze out over the taiga. You have done so much for me. The least I can offer in return is that breathtaking view. And now that the albino is gone, you can safely enjoy the hike there.
Alina told me to enjoy the view, and it did not disappoint. Endless white, quiet, beautiful, and deadly.
Take a deep breath. Here you are, at the top of the taiga, the apex hunter. Friend to the Nenets, friend to Elena. I would call you my hero, but if your ego gets any bigger, it will cause an eclipse. So, my friend, how many ways can I thank you? In Russia we say, "Vidna ptica po polyotu." In English, a bird is known by its flight. That is to say, our deeds speak for us. And word travels uncommonly fast on the taiga. People across this region are beating down my door for your contact info. Everyone wants to hire the radioactive mutant bear hunter. But don't worry. Besides maybe Gyori, I will only give you a number to sane people. There is plenty of work left to be done for our expedition, but you've also earned a break. Please, consider this territory as you would your own home. Hunt, explore, experience. The taiga is rich with secrets. Will you be the first outsider to discover them all? And hey, if you ever make it to base camp to see me, Anatoly, Svetlana, and the rest of the crew, you will find a bowl of Katerina's famous reindeer stew with your name on it. Until then, всего хорошего. That's Russian for good luck.
I brought the bear back to my lodge, giving it a place of honor amongst my other trophies. The mission was done, but I'll be back. Medved Taiga still has a hold on me, and there's plenty of other things to hunt. In the Hunter Call of the Wild.